Video, we'd like to talk about cylinder test dates. Quick overview for high pressure cylinders that are steel. So we're looking at this oxygen here. We're looking at 10 years, okay? Anything that's aluminum, regardless of gas type, aluminum is 5 years, okay? CO2, regardless if it's steel or if it's aluminum, CO2 is always going to be a 5-year test date. Acetylene is 10 years, okay? And we've got propane. Propane's a little different. Propane is 12 years from the date of manufacture and every 5 years after that initial test. So what you're looking for, okay, real quick, is a test date. So here on this acetylene, for example, we do see a test date. The 1 indicates the month, the 12 is the year. The FS isn't as important for our purposes, but for your knowledge, it is filler and shell. So it's tested both the shell and also the filler, okay? The requirements for that are a 3/4 inch deep dent would disqualify or fail a cylinder, and then also anything more than a 1/2 inch play in the filler would also disqualify it, okay? So that's how we get tested at this point. Over here, we have a aluminum cylinder, okay? Now, I know I told you that they're good for 5 years, but how would you know if it's only 5 years? Okay, you can't tell just from looking at that information there. The reason, or the way that you can tell, is by looking at a different cylinder. Here we have a steel-bodied cylinder that has a plus on it and also a star. That star indicates 10 years, okay? The plus is for 10% overfill. So when we have a pressure rating, like we have here next to the DOT number, here's our DOT that Mr. Olson made us all aware of. But next to that, at the end of that DOT, the number 2015 indicates the pressure rating, okay, or what it needs to be filled to. That plus is going to allow us to fill 10% above that, okay? So that's how we fill our cylinders here at Terrace. Real quick, again, an overview of CO2. CO2 is good for every 5 years, regardless, again, of what material the cylinder is made out of itself. And you can see here that we've got our test date here, okay? Now, obviously, it's not every 5 years here, the reason being that this thing sat somewhere for a while, obviously. Okay. Another thing to notice on anything that's filled liquid is a tare weight. Again, that'd be used for Glenn or anybody filling cylinders, but that's what that number there indicates, okay? And again, there's that DOT number that John's been talking about. If you can see that, it's stamped kind of lightly. It does have a pressure rating on it because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll convert cylinders from use in high pressure once they've failed that strict of regimen and turn them into CO2, okay? Now let's take a look over here at the propane cylinders, and what are we looking for? Okay, this one's new, so it's a little easy to take a look at it. Obviously manufactured in September of this year. Okay, and there's that tare weight because it is filled by liquid. And up at the top, you will see the DOT rating. So this cylinder is good for 12 years from date of manufacture, okay? And after that, we're looking for every 5 years. So this cylinder needs to be tested in 2025, and then again in 2030, and every subsequent 5-year range after that. So again, that's a quick overview of what we're looking for when looking for test dates, okay? Thanks for your time, guys.